me, Geordie, Pete Redding. Welcome to Monday Rewind with Hollywood Balls Live, a show that packs more punch than a Will Smith right hook, or a slap anyway. Coming up today, we're joined exclusively by South Shields FC manager Kevin Phillips, so we can catch up on what's been a mammoth weekend for the Mariners. Welcome to Hollywood Balls Live and welcome to the Rewind.
Rewind.
Yes, it's me, Geordie, Pete Redding. And before we say a big hi to today's guest, it's a hello to our own Kev. Kev, welcome. 2 goal-scoring legends in the house, 2 Kevins. I'm going to have my work cut out today, so you're going to be Kev, and Kevin Phillips is going to be Kevin. Super Kev Campbell, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Pete. Listen, you could call me anything, mate. Don't worry about that. Call me KC. It's all right. Good to see Kev in the house, man. How you doing, Kev?
Yeah, I'm doing very well, Kev. Yeah, all good, cheers.
I'm going to let you... I've got Kevin in my head, Kevin Phillips and Kev Campbell, and that's the way it's going to stick. Kevin, listen, first and foremost, a massive thank you for joining us today. I know it's been an absolutely draining weekend as far as South Shields goes, but what a weekend. Starting, I've got to say, the most important thing... all of the razzmatazz that went with non-league weekend, but the most important thing for you was the gaffer. It was the 3 points, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. The focus was there, with Football Focus coming. It was great for the football club, but we still had a job to do. We couldn't be distracted by that, and the lads put in a very professional performance. I'm very delighted, and as you say, 3 points is the most important thing at this stage of the season.
Business end of the season. And the players responded brilliantly, didn't they, the whole weekend, which was geared around non-league day?
Yeah, they were outstanding. They conducted themselves very well. Could have easily been distracted, as I said. It was a big crowd, just shy of 3,000, and it was a great day. And of course, the weather made it a bit more special. It was red hot. It's not as warm today up here, but yeah, it was an excellent result. And as the league shows that we can't afford to drop too many points from now to the end of the season, with Buxton winning and being 2 points ahead of us.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the nitty gritty of that. Our Kev Campbell, with international break on us, I mean, it gave non-league day the actual the spotlight it deserved, didn't it? And what a great initiative it is. Yeah,
listen, I think it's really important that the grassroots, the lower down you go, gets a little bit of focus on it. More a club, obviously, where Kevin is. I think it's fantastic that it gets the eyeballs, because what, down there it really is. They suffered a lot during lockdown, and the teams couldn't play, etc. And it's a little bit of extra money for players at some clubs who it's like a part-time thing. So I think it's really important that they get it. Obviously, I've been involved in different stages with Radcliffe FC, Manchester, sure. And you see stuff going on with South Shields. Huge fan base. I'm sure that Kev Phillips, being manager, has put quite a few on the gate. You know what I mean? So I think it's really important. I mean, I think I've got a question for Kev, really. Just what's the group like, Kev, and what's their mindset like? Because it's now we're getting in the business end of the season. It really matters what the mindset is and how they feel.
Yeah, I think that they're in a good place, Kev. I think this is their first season being full time, and when you get to this stage of the season, you have to really be careful how much you train them, how much you work them, because they're not used to training day in, day out. As it can, if you get it wrong, at this stage of season, the lads can mentally fatigue and be tired, and that causes injury. So They're dealing with it really well. I'm trying to draw on my experience and trying to give them some rest. Like today and Monday, I've given them an extra day's rest. We'll train hard tomorrow. We'll rest again Wednesday, and then we'll prepare for the game on Saturday. So we do everything right, and the players have brought into it, which is fantastic. They're in a good place. But we've got an away game at the weekend, and you talk about mentality. We just come off the back of 4 away games on the bounce, and we only picked up 2 points. So, you know, for me, mentality, when you go away from home in this league, you have to roll your sleeves up. You know, there's so many variations in terms of the pitches we play on. 1 week 3G, 1 week you're playing on a pitch that's got no grass on it, bobbly. Then you play on our pitch, which is magnificent. So it's one of those away from home and on. You have to roll your sleeves up. You have to find another way to win a football match, and we're going to have to do that at the weekend. But mentally, their mentality is really good after the back-to-back wins at home. So I'm expecting another fine performance at the weekend.
Brilliant.
Interesting you say that, Kevin. Looking at it, I mean, you've got Gainsborough Trinity, as you say, at the weekend coming up, and then there's 4 to go after that. The majority then of this remaining 5 are away. Looking, I mean, I know you're going to say to me, as every good manager should, you can only look towards the weekend. But overall, I mean, as a club, as a future, what do you think the football and ambitions of South Shields can be moving forward?
Well, I think first and foremost, Jeff Thompson deserves huge credit, and the staff at the football club for the amount of money that he's invested. We're about to open a new £2 million stand that opens in May, which is incredible for this level. And as you said earlier, you know, 2,500, 3,000 people through the gate for every home game. So the ambition is there in terms of that. Jeff made it clear to me that, you know, they would love to get into the Football League. That's why the ground has been brought up to EFL standards. But I think from my point of view, you can't get too carried away. I think you have to deal with what's in front of you. And that, of course, is getting out of this league, which is priority. And then you attack the league that you're in next year. It's as simple as that. So I don't think you can plan too far ahead, but certainly have the ambition, of course. That's what makes us strive for great things. And, you know, we're heading in the right direction. And when you've got a chairman and board that are that ambitious, you've always got a chance.
You mentioned Jeff there, and I wanted to ask you, Kevin, you know, had you realised, you know, given your first chat with Jeff, just the size of the club? Is it actually bigger than you first thought, even when you had that chat with Jeff?
Well, I think obviously I knew what the area and the region demands and expects. It's a massive football area, as Kev well knows. You know, they're so passionate up here, as they are as his side. You know, but you can't get away from it up here. You're certainly in South Shields. You're bang right in the middle of Newcastle and Sunderland. And of course, with my connections with Sunderland, you know, I think there's a lot of Newcastle fans that are waiting for me to foul so they can jump on me. But that's fine. You know, I accepted the challenge. I know what comes with it. But they just love their football. And, you know, it has surprised me how big the club is. And it's a big challenge for me, but it's one that I'm relishing, I'm loving. And, you know, hopefully I can give them the rewards come the end of the season.
Well, I definitely hope so.
Kev, did you, because you were a coach, obviously, previously, what made you take the next step to be a manager? Did you always want to manage?
Yeah, I did, Kev, to be honest. I didn't want to be a coach when I retired at Leicester, but it was Nigel Pearson that convinced me to come on to the coaching stuff and take the strikers and just see how I felt. And you know yourself, Kev, you know, when you stop playing, you need to try and find that buzz, or try and find that match day buzz that's similar, obviously, to playing. And being on the coaching staff and being on the training ground every day is the closest thing you'll get, and obviously being on the bench on match day. And so I did 3.5 years coaching, and as we all do in management or coaching, at some point you lose your job. And I spent 2 years out of coaching, and so you kind of reflect on what you want. And I always said that if I got an opportunity to go into management, I'd love to have a crack. I'd love the final decision to be with me. And when Jeff rang me, New Year's Eve, believe it or not. Wow. Don't know whether he'd had a few too many drinks. When he mentioned it to me, I woke up New Year's Day with a slight sore head and hung him back and said, yeah, definitely, I'll come up, have a chat. And as soon as I came up and saw the facilities, the ambition, I wanted to be a part of it. So it hasn't let me down. There's nothing really surprised me. The biggest thing for me as a manager is having to leave players out. And that is, yourself. It's telling a player he's not playing or he's not in the squad. That for me, that's the hardest part of the job. But it's part of the job that I have to do.
Our KC, I wanted to ask you, I mean, looking at the setup that Kevin's at, I mean, it's absolutely a huge opportunity. And I wanted to look at it from a player's perspective. They've got a dream currently at South Shields, but it's a big dream for them personally going forward, because they could look at the likes of Jamie Vardy and they're going to look to progress, and hopefully that's they can use him as a yardstick, can't they, to jump up the leagues in their professional career.
Yeah, there's Jamie Vardy's obviously one currently playing who gets a lot of column inches, doesn't he? But there's quite a few players who have come from non-league who have gone on to have really great careers. So, there's a few they could lean on. Jamie Vardy being probably the standard bearer right now. Look, I admire all that goes on, because you think about it. Normally they go to work, then they go training two days a week, and then they play on a Saturday. Now, South Shields are employing these guys full time. Pete, now they're, whatever they done previous, now they're footballers. They're full time. They're footballers. So the transition of obviously moving from job to training a couple of days a week to full time may take his time. And Kev was right. You have to be very careful how you train them and how you handle them, because they're just not used to it, Pete. So listen, I commend all of those guys in the non-league, but getting in the Football League should be the ultimate goal for this team for sure. Okay,
as gaffer, Kevin, one of the things that came over in waves on the TV show of Football Focus was the community. Now, having spoken to Jeff myself and knowing how important that is, people can say that the community is a pivotal part of any club. But for South Shields FC, the community is the club, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. The club's heavily involved, as you rightly say, with the community, which is vitally important for the area. We have close links with lots of organisations. Of course, we have our own academy as well, so we have a lot of kids at the football club, and it's about everyone mixing and joining in and helping. And any way that we can help the community via the football club is a massive thing for us. We're not a huge club, but we're a big club in terms of the non-league, and I think it's important for the area and the region. So the stuff that the club are doing, Jeff, Lee Picton, the people in the background are doing an unbelievable job. And, I try to get involved as much as I can, but, being a manager now, it's 24/7. I'm constantly thinking about the players and watching games. I'm going to a game tonight. I'm watching games on the laptop. So, my focus is purely at the moment on trying to get out of this league and winning football matches and keeping the players happy. But what they're doing in the community is hugely important.
Just getting back to the football, Kevin, I've got to ask you though, it's the old cliche, but I know it's one game at a time, but now, Football Focus is gone. The sunshine, the day out is gone with the community. It's fully focused to an away game coming up. And as you say, business end of the season, games coming thick and fast and towards that climax. Is it a case of just doing what you have to do, getting the results and taking it one step at a time? You can't be looking too far ahead, and you can't be relying on other people as well. It's just a case of Kevin Phillips and South Shields FC focusing on themselves.
100%. And I think that's the only way you can attack it moving forward. We can only deal with what's immediately in front of us, and that's Gainsborough at the weekend. Then we have a home game the following weekend, and then we have a pivotal weekend over Easter holidays where we play Saturday, Monday, where the league could potentially be decided. But you're right, focus on Saturday. And my biggest thought now is trying to get that away win. It's been a while since my first game in charge, Warrington away, which we won. So I want us to go there and put a good performance in and win the football match, of course. But we'll prepare right this week. and we'll be ready. The one thing the players won't be is lacking confidence. We're scoring plenty of goals. We kept a good clean sheet at the weekend. So if we can do that at the weekend, we stand a very good chance of winning the football match. But we can only deal with what's immediately in front of us.
Interestingly, you say though how different it is for preparation, and it's just something that struck me there when you were saying it. With all of these different, as you say, pitches and stadiums and levels of pitch, do you find that your build up and momentum towards each away game changes individually to that team and to that sort of stadium that you're going to? Will you have to change your game, so to speak?
Yeah, you have to mix it up. Because, like I say, if we're playing on the 3G at the weekend, then we're lucky enough that we have got a 3G pitch at the Mariners Park just next door, so we can train on that all week. So we're a very good football-based team. We like to play. We like to play out from the back. But then if we go into, for argument's sake, a Lancaster or an Ashton on a Tuesday night where the pitch isn't great, you've got to learn to adapt. You might have to be a little bit more direct and play off the front and win second balls. It's just finding a way to win, and I think that's what we have to do from now to the end of the season. Because it's the variables, as I said. You have to learn to adapt to the conditions, and does that take into thought in terms of the teams I pick? Yeah, it has done on a Tuesday night. Sometimes you have to freshen it up, and I've tried to explain that to the squad that at the end of the day, if I leave someone out on the Tuesday when they played Saturday, it's not. I'm doing it for the team's benefit. I'm doing it to freshen the team up and trying to keep everyone on board and get them game time. So I'll certainly be doing that again from now to the end of the season.
Good stuff. Our KC, I'm going to move into playing memories of the Northeast. I mean, you've been on Hollywood Bowls so many times, and you're a pivotal part. You are Hollywood Bowls for us now, but we've talked massively before on your playing career. You've enjoyed some good memories in the Northeast, haven't you, as a player?
100%. Look, one thing I would always say about the people of the Northeast, they know their football, Pete, and you can't pull no wool over their eyes. They have such a good eye test and such a good football IQ, that I've had some, even after games, I've had some absolutely fantastic discussions with the local fans. So I love that part of the world. I think they're football crazy. And they support with all their passion. So again, it's a great opportunity for them to have somebody like Kev at South Shields. Obviously, Sunderland doing okay. Newcastle got new ownership. You know what I mean? South Shields hopefully going to get promotion with a bit of luck. I mean, the area's a hotbed, isn't it? It's Middlesbrough doing okay.
We got Middlesbrough as well, yeah. Middlesbrough.
Well, they haven't done too bad, Kev, have they? Getting to the quarterfinal of the FA Cup. So, the area is still a hotbed.
It is. Okay, Kevin, we've got a common team that we can both get behind, given our backgrounds. So we can leave the Newcastle Sunderland at the door, but I can't really. I mean, I can't not mention it, because you've got memories of playing at St James's Park as well. I think there was one night we were both there. You probably had a bigger grin on your face than I did. It was in the rain, but you must have great memories yourself of the rivalry and playing in the Northeast.
Oh yeah, massive. I have to admit, when I first come to Sunderland, I didn't really, probably being naive Southern lad, that I didn't realise that Newcastle Sunderland was a derby, but I quickly realised that how passionate and how fierce the rivalry is. And it didn't take me long to find out. But so, immediately I couldn't wait to play in one of those games. And my first one was the game you're talking about at St James's. We hadn't won there, I think, for 7 years. And it was an incredible night. I managed to score the winner, and the weather was just incredibly wet, rainy. I think if the game would have gone on for 10 more minutes, it would have been called off. But it was great to score the winner.
Wish you'd had.
I probably made the mistake of going to Newcastle shopping the next day. I wasn't in the shopping centre for very long. Let's put it that way. So I had to get out there pretty quick. But I've got great memories. I scored 2 in a 2-2 draw at the Stadium of Light when we were 2-0 down, and the atmosphere I've always said that was the best I experienced at the Stadium of Light when I scored the equaliser. It was, there's a saying in football, and Kev will say, that the roof came off when that goal went in. It literally did with a noise. It was just incredible. So, yeah, great great memories, and they'll stay with me forever for sure.
Kev, did you lose any?
Go on.
Did you lose many or any?
No, I didn't, Kev. No, I think we drew. I think I played the St James's 3 times, and we won 1 and drew 2. And then I played in a 2-2-1 at the Stadium, and I missed the one where I think we lost, where I think Shearer scored, if memory serves me right. So no, I don't think I did, Kev, if I'm being honest.
Well, that's good.
Was
good
that one,
you.
Kevin? The one in the raid, was that the Rude Hullet night?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. He got sacked the next day, and Duncan Ferguson and Shearer on the bench. So I think the writing was on the wall for Rude. When you leave Alan Shearer on the bench, that is not a good thing to do.
Because we had Kevin Ball on. We had Bally on, and he said, looking at that, they looked at the team sheet, and they all looked at each other. You all looked at each other and said, we can have a real go tonight.
Yeah, well, I think it filtered through on the team bus on the way to the stadium that Shearer was on the bench, and it's funny actually because the only Geordie that was celebrating that goal that I scored, the winner that night, was Rob Lee, because he told me that he was sat up. Rude Hullet had dropped him from the squad. And he said, I was sat at home celebrating when you scored. So he's the only Geordie celebrating that goal. Well, I know he's not a Geordie, but he's an adopted
honorary Geordie. Same as he was an honorary Mackham. Paul Jerry's a big Sunderland fan. He's tuned in. He's watching. He said it's great to see what you're doing at South Shields. He is asking though, will you end up at Sunderland? There you go. So Paul's asking, can you see yourself at Sunderland in a managerial capacity? Listen, Paul, we're concentrating on South Shields. We want to get them promoted. That's what we're talking about here. Listen, Kevin, it's absolutely brilliant to catch up. We know how busy you are. You've literally just come off the training pitch to be with us, and we appreciate that. We want to wish you all the very best for the remainder of the season. And all we ask is that you come back on, come what may, hopefully to celebrate with us on Hollywood Balls Live for a promotion. But thanks so much for being with us.
No, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. And I think, Kev, you're going to get yourself to a game. You're more than welcome to come up. If you ever have a free afternoon, come up. And
if I get an opportunity, mate, I'll be there, Kev. If I get an opportunity, I'll be up there. I love it up there, that part of the world. So I'll let you know. What
I could do is I could sell it. I can sell it to our Kev Campbell. I can sell it I'll send him the pictures, Kevin, that I saw of from. It looked like there was a chip butty, but it was a pie, chips, and mushy peas all in a chip butty at South Shields.
He'll be all over that. Kev will be all over. We'll make sure you looked after.
Nice one, Kev. Listen, you take care, mate.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Listen, Kev, cheers, and
cheers. Bye-bye.
Great to have you with us. Take care.
Brilliant,
Kev. Absolutely guy, brilliant. Brilliant stuff. Great to hear the journey as well, isn't it? So absolutely delighted. And as I said, that it just made the day on Saturday. The whole cameras being there, football focus, live from South Shields for the Mariners. What a fantastic day. And of course, as I said to him at the top, most importantly, the 3 points.
Of course, 3 points is all important. And you know what? It's great that Kev says, big respect to Jeff. Jeff is so important for that football club. And what he's doing there, he's definitely building something, Pete. Look, he's the foundations are in, now they're starting to build. Promotion would be fitting, obviously, this season. But let's say the worst happened and they didn't get there. I guarantee if they don't get there this year, they'll get there next year.
Yeah, good stuff. Listen, I've got to say, though, fantastic to hear such stories and tales, and people think that they're heroes and they're players. But at the end of the day, everyone just has a heart. So that it's interesting to hear that story about the Derby night. But remember Kevin Ball telling us that they looked at that team sheet, didn't they, that evening, and thought, no Shearer, no Big Duncan, no Robert Lee. Yeah, Robert Lee.
I could just imagine, as Kev just said, they're on the team coach going to the game, and things are coming through on the mobiles, and you could imagine Shearer's on the bench. Oh, right. Then you probably hear Big Dunk's on the bench. Rob Lee's not playing. I got, you know what I mean? You're looking around. I think Peter Reid was the manager at Sunderland at the time, wasn't he? So Reid, they'd be telling Reedy at the front, and it'll be the team talk happened on the bus, Pete.
Oh, listen, Segan's in the house. He says South Shields actually won me a betting slip 2 Saturdays ago. All hail South Shields. Well done, Segan. Listen, guys, just wanted to say again, apologies for Soccer Saturday that we couldn't join you due to technical internet connections in our area. A real shame. So what we are doing is we're giving away those 1 billion panda today on the show just for you. So there's a lot of you with us. So we keep our word on here, don't we, Kev? So listen, follow the rules. Listen to Fowler. She'll tell you what to do, but that will be a giveaway. And there'll be another giveaway when we come again on Soccer Saturday. Thankfully, Kev, when we come back on Soccer Saturday, I will say normal services be resumed, hopefully with our technical difficulties, but also with the Premier League being back.
Whoa, the Premier League.
All hail.
You know what? All hail the Premier League, Pete. Everybody looks. It was great to concentrate on non-league and all that kind of thing. But our teams are Premier League and Championship and all that kind of thing. There's a lot going on. And that just makes the Hollywood Bulls Soccer Saturday, doesn't it?
Doesn't it just? And we've got a weekend spread through. The Arsenal play on Monday night. They're the Monday night specialists. The Toon are at Tottenham. So Kev will have his Toon top on for that one.
I'll have black and white on, I can tell you that much.
No doubt. And hopefully we'll be getting the lowdown on your recipe. I'm not going to say too much more than that, but I believe that you're just waiting for a vital product to arrive, and then we'll be getting the Super Kev recipe at the weekend.
Chicken wings for breakfast, I think, maybe, Pete. There you go.
Chicken wings on Soccer Saturday. We'll look forward to that. We must get Danny Kwang on as well to have him talk through it. Brilliant. So many of you have joined us today. Hope you've enjoyed it. And Sherifat Taiwu as well, a regular on our Monday. We'll see you on Saturday, on Soccer Saturday. From him, Super Kevin Campbell, and me, Geordie Pete Redding. We'll see you soon.
3, 2, 1.